Chapter 11. The temperature drops suddenly, and quilts are sold. You are listening at novelfold.audio. Number 35233, I feel a little cold now. How long will this rain last? If it rains the next day, I will be frozen to death in the wild. Number 233333, my small broken house is leaking wind on all sides, and it can't withstand it. I feel like I'm going to catch a cold. Chen Dong looked at the sky through the glass, and there was no sign that the heavy rain would stop. Someone in the chat channel just now complained about whether it would rain the next day. Chen Dong felt that it was not impossible. Yawn, sitting on the sofa in the living room of the villa, and she sneezed. She touched her arm with goosebumps and rubbed it to keep warm. Chen Dong sat over and asked, "Do you feel cold?" And she nodded honestly. "It's a little cold. The temperature dropped too fast, and I can't react." Indeed, Chen Dong, who has upgraded, can still feel a little cold, not to mention that she has not upgraded yet and is still a weak woman. I have to find something to keep warm. Chen Dong thought about whether to light a fire to keep warm. Suddenly, I thought of today's unlimited supplies. Isn't this a coincidence? Cotton can be used to make quilts. It can't make a strong quilt that is too warm, but it is not difficult for Chen Dong to stuff the cloth with cotton, and there is enough cotton. If one sheet is not warm enough, 2 sheets will do at most. Chen Dong clicked on the trading platform to collect fabrics and needles and threads, and said to Xianqi, "Wait a moment, I will show you a magic trick." Soon, he took out the collected materials for making quilts. Xianqi looked at the cotton and fabrics on the ground with a look of surprise. "Chen Dong, how do you have cotton?" Chen Dong smiled and said, "Of course I exchanged it on the trading platform. Dr. Xie, if you want to cover the quilt quickly, help me sew the fabric. I am not used to using embroidery needles." Xianqi nodded quickly. "Hee, this is my specialty." Xianqi, who got the needles, threads and fabrics, made several quilt covers in no time. This difficult job is nothing for her who is a doctor. Soon, Chen Dong and Xianqi covered themselves with quilts as they wished. Chen Dong took out hot food and warm coffee from his backpack, curled up in the quilt and ate and drank, as if he was on a weekend vacation. Many players shivered in the cold despite the wind and rain outside the villa, and all this had nothing to do with them. After eating and drinking, Xianqi huddled in the quilt and murmured happily, "Well, so comfortable." Chen Dong leaned over and asked, "Where is it comfortable?" Xianqi's ears suddenly turned red when she felt the strong male breath. She huddled her head in the quilt and said coquettishly, "Stinky Chen Dong, you are making fun of me again." Chen Dong laughed and rubbed Xianqi's hair. Unlike seeking caution and even ruthlessness in battle, Chen Dong hoped that he could relax when he was not in battle, and he could make fun of Xianqi unscrupulously and have someone to chat with. If he kept his fighting nerves tense, he felt that he would not be able to hold on for long. Xianqi also found that after just a few days of life and death escape, she actually couldn't leave Chen Dong. Sometimes she felt uneasy when she found Chen Dong was not there, thinking that she wanted to assassinate Chen Dong at the beginning, but ended up following Chen Dong. She couldn't help but feel ashamed, but she knew that her choice was right. Beside Chen Dong, she found a sense of security that was lacking in this doomsday world. At this moment, Xianqi suddenly had an idea. Biting her lips, her expression was hesitant and tangled, and suddenly raised her head and asked, "Chen Dong, how about, tonight, you come to my room?" Chen Dong was frightened. He had been single since birth, and a beautiful woman came to him on her own initiative. Chen Dong's mind suddenly went blank, and he blurted out, "No. Women will only affect the speed of my drawing a gun. Let alone touching, I can't even think about it." Xianqi was stunned. Unexpectedly, Chen Dong rejected her mercilessly even though she was so proactive as a girl. Xianqi stood up angrily, snorted, and climbed upstairs wrapped in a quilt, walked into a room, and slammed the door shut. Chen Dong's mind was working again at this time, and he regretted it. "Fuck. Did a donkey kick your brain?" Chen Dong had to comfort himself by saying that he had just arrived at the villa area and the crisis had not been resolved. It's not appropriate to think about men and women now. Chen Dong looked at the players who were still complaining about the weather and the cold in the chat channel, gritted his teeth and muttered, "I'm unhappy, you guys are unhappy too." Then, Chen Dong used the system screenshot to take a screenshot of him lying on a luxurious sofa, wrapped in a quilt, number 10086. Ah. Why don't you have quilts? I thought everyone has one. Attached with pictures, number 878732. Number 45432, ah. Damn. How can there be such a thing as a quilt? Number 99923-10086, if you dare, send me the coordinates, I promise not to kill you. Number 10086, hee. I happen to have a few extra quilts. Do you want them? I've put them on the trading platform. While talking in the chat channel, Chen Dong put the quilt on the trading platform, but the trading conditions are harsh, only combat supplies are accepted. This is tantamount to a sky-high price. Because combat capital requires a lot of food and water transactions, and exchanging quilts requires a lot of combat materials. After the conversion, not many people can afford it. After the quilt was put on the shelf, the chat channel was full of condemnation of Chen Dong. Number 93849, people do things. Why don't you go and rob, so many materials for a broken quilt? Number 10086, you cannot exchange, anyway I won't be cold. But a warm reminder, this rain will not stop in a short time. Number 77777, boycott together. Let him not sell it, keep it for the new year. Number 85842, yes. I will freeze to death, die outside. I will never buy this broken quilt. Number 34341, huh. Why did you buy a quilt? Number 552, I'm really sorry, the quilt is really warm. Brothers continue to boycott, I will withdraw first. Seeing everyone's attack on number 552, Chen Dong almost laughed out loud. Although he made many people jealous in the chat channel, he still successfully traded several quilts in exchange for a large amount of combat supplies. Then, Chen Dong put some cold medicine on the shelves and shouted in the chat channel, brothers, I just put some cold medicine on the shelves. The price is affordable. If you need it, hurry up and buy it. You don't want to fight zombies with your sick body, right? This time, the chat channel did not denounce Chen Dong as lively as last time. The players are not stupid. They know the importance of cold medicine. Many players who have already caught a cold, looking at the cold medicine that still needs to be exchanged for combat supplies, although they are complaining in their hearts, they still have to bite the bullet and trade. Chapter 12, Barrier Wall Blueprints, Auction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Dong is right when he says that no one wants to drag his sick body to fight zombies. Cold medicine is a bit more expensive, but if you lose your life, keep these supplies to help future players. Soon, all the cold medicine was gone. Chen Dong's backpack is also filled with a large amount of combat supplies, such as crossbows, daggers, hand axes, and the like. There were even people trading grenades, which Chen Dong didn't expect. In the chat channel, some people still said harsh things to Chen Dong. Number 10,086, the mountains and rivers will not change, just wait for me. Number 10010, when I get over my cold, I will definitely spread your ashes. 10,086. Chen Dongjing was concentrating on organizing the combat supplies in his backpack. When he saw the harsh words in the chat channel, he chuckled. Number 10086, yeah, I'll wait, smiling emoticon. After sending the message, Chen Dong closed the chat channel and ignored it. There are enough Molotov cocktails, 10 grenades, iron animal traps, and quite a few crossbow arrows. Do you want to put some rust on the whole tetanus enchantment? Chen Dong sorted out the combat supplies. For a time, he found that he could match the strength of a team, at least compared to the other team in the villa area. As long as he is given enough time to set up, it is not a problem to kill the opponent alone. Just when Chen Dong was about to shut down the system and take a rest, an advertisement popped up on the trading platform. Extra. A gold-level blueprint appears on the trading platform, Barrier Wall. This blueprint is the first gold-level blueprint on this trading platform. Chen Dong's heart suddenly became hot. When I yawn, someone gives me a pillow. He was still worried about how to avoid the invasion of zombies in the villa area. Now, if there is this barrier wall, then there is no need to worry about this problem. Chen Dong immediately opened the trading platform, found a gold-level blueprint, and muttered to himself, "This time, I am sure to win." As soon as this gold-level blueprint appeared, it directly shocked the chat channels of the entire apocalyptic world. They didn't expect that just a week after arriving in this apocalyptic world, people had already begun to find gold-level supplies, not to mention gold. Even silver is very rare and is usually at the bronze level. In the chat channel, many people were jealous. Number 546262. How is it possible? This must be a lie again. I have never seen anyone so lucky. Why, how, I am so sour. Number 15424, yeah, how could anyone get such a good thing? A barrier and a wall. Wouldn't it be beautiful if you found a shelter and opened the wall directly? What are zombies? I'll just keep them out. Number 345345, damn it. He has put it up for auction. Do you really want to sell it? But the price is so expensive. The starting price is 1,000 pieces of necessary daily necessities, and the price increases by 50 pieces each time. I can't afford it. Amid the wailing, many groups fell in love with this drawing of a fortification wall. They had already searched for the shelter, and this drawing appeared quite timely. In another villa area, a naked and muscular man was thinking about the drawing on the trading platform. He pushed away the woman next to him who had just vented about the great harmony of life, his eyes burning. I'm going to decide on the barrier and the wall. Whoever takes advantage of me, I'll kill him. The strong man put on his clothes, walked downstairs, and began to gather his team members and began to gather supplies in preparation for participating in the auction. In a signal station, many people gathered around a handsome man, quietly waiting for him to give orders. Young Master Zhou, as long as you give the order, we will immediately collect resources and participate in the auction. Or, find the player. A man dressed in black next to him asked in a low voice, while making a motion of wiping his neck with his right hand. The handsome man waved his hand and took a sip of red wine. No need, we are definitely not the only one who is jealous of this golden blueprint. It is even more impossible to snipe the seller. The system's protection in this regard is still very thoughtful. Moreover, I, Zhou Shujian, am not the kind of person who will use any means to achieve his goals. Lao Ma, prepare supplies and participate in the auction. The man in black next to Zhou Shujian bowed respectfully and said, "Okay, Mr. Zhou, I will go and gather the brothers to start preparing supplies and prepare for bidding. I will do my best to help Mr. Zhou obtain the golden blueprint." Zhou Shujian sneered, looking very confident. He is sitting on a lot of living supplies. I can't believe there is someone more powerful. In the troubled times outside, those unscrupulous people are probably still worrying about their next meal. Who can beat him? Jiang Kai, who lives in the same villa area as Chen Dong, is also eyeing this gold-level drawing. Although the number of zombies in their villa area is now very small, he has discovered Chen Dong's footprints. If there are other players coming, he doesn't have the confidence to stop them, but if there is wallpaper for the barrier wall, then all the problems will no longer exist. Their team can resist the zombie tide that may appear in the future, and can also block the covetous efforts of many players, but they had just experienced a big war and they didn't have enough supplies to participate in the auction. Jiang Kai was so angry that he hammered the marble coffee table helplessly. On a big tree in the wild, Qian Buduo, who was wearing glasses, was looking at the empty daily necessities in his backpack with worry. There was only one gold-level blueprint left, the barrier wall. He was a little helpless. It was not that he wanted to sell this gold-level blueprint, but he had no choice. I hope more people will participate in the auction and raise the price, so that I can live a few more days. Qian Buduo pushed his glasses and waited for the auction to start. Soon, the auction house of the trading platform opened. This was an auction specifically for this gold-level blueprint. According to the rules of the trading platform, only materials that reach the gold level are eligible to participate in the auction house, and now, there is only one barrier wall. The forces that are eligible to participate in the auction have used their best abilities to collect materials and are determined to get the gold-level blueprint. After all, this thing is too important for them. In the chat channel, The gold-level wall blueprint also attracted many lone wolf survivors. Number 46543, who do you think will buy this gold-level blueprint? Number 254318, I don't know about other things, but there is a team in our East District, led by Niu Ziqiang, who is known as the largest group in the East District. They just occupied the villa area this time. I think they will definitely participate in the auction, and the chances of winning the auction are very high. Chapter 13, Fierce Competition, No Concessions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Number 45538, hey. Speaking of large groups, we have to talk about Zhou Shujian from our southern district. We, Mr. Zhou, are very friendly and never harm the players, and the ones we gather are all players who are in trouble without supplies. In just a few days with Master Zhou's strategy, we captured a signal station shelter in our district. I think Master Zhou can do it too. Number 451846, I wonder if this is possible. That number 10,086 looks promising. Do you think you will participate in the bidding? Number 10010, impossible. Absolutely impossible. No matter how many supplies 10086 has, it is absolutely impossible for him to put out so many supplies to participate in the auction. After all, everyone else is a group, and as far as he knows, he is just one person. Is he rich enough to rival the country? Number 10010, well, if he succeeds in the bidding, I will eat the zombie meat on the spot. Number 10,000, that's right, what kind of bullshit is 10,086? At most, he can make some quilt money, but he still wants to participate in the auction of gold-level drawings. Ha, don't be funny, I'm afraid it's just 100 lives to qualify for admission. We don't even have enough necessary supplies. Just as everyone was talking about it, the auction house started. Niu Ziqiang, Zhou Shujian and others submitted deposits from the auction house, and of course there were some unknown forces, including Chen Dong. When Chen Dong entered the auction house's interface, he was shocked to find that there were more than a dozen buyers. Obviously, as the chat channel said, there are very few people who can come up with auction materials. The Doomsday Escape has just been launched for less than a week. But many people have already started to hug each other for warmth. It is not ruled out that some people also have huge amounts of supplies. But Chen Dong quickly rejected the second guess. After all, his wealth of materials is due to the infinite system, and it is unlikely that others will. Dear auction house buyers, welcome to the Doomsday Trading Auction House. I hope that all players can auction the items they like. When adding bids, you can click the Add Bid panel on the interface to complete the additional bids. At the highest price, the auctioneer will count 3 times. If there are no additional bids, the auction will be successful when the auction hammer falls. All living necessities owned by buyers participating in the auction will be converted into living necessities. A bottle of 500 milliliters drinking water and a portion of 250 grams of food are 1 living necessities. If the food is insufficient, you can use 2 times of drinking water instead of the combination. In the same way, if there is insufficient drinking water, twice the amount of food can be substituted for the combination. Chen Dong waited quietly for the auction house to start bidding, and so did everyone else. Everyone was very alert. The first auction item, gold-level blueprint, barrier wall. The starting price is 100 daily necessities, and the price increases by 10 daily necessities each time. The auction house will charge a commission of 2% of the auction price. Buyer number 1 raised his sign. The virtual auctioneer's mechanical voice prompted. Buyer number 1 holds up his placard for 100 essential necessities. Soon, buyer number 3 raised his sign. The virtual auctioneer then prompted. Buyer number 3 holds up his placard for 110 essential necessities for daily life. Chen Dong is the buyer number 8 and has not yet made a bid. He has been watching the price of this gold-level blueprint skyrocketing, and it quickly exceeded the 200 necessary supplies mark, and looking at this momentum, it seems to be heading towards a price of 300. Buyer number 9 raised his placard, and the bid reached 300 daily necessities for the first time. The auctioneer reminded, buyer number 9 bids 300 daily necessities. Suddenly, all the lone wolf survivors on the public channel were in an uproar. Damn it. 300 supplies of daily necessities. That's 300 bottles of water and 300 supplies of food, 150 kilograms of grain. How long can a person live like this? Oh my God, 300 bottles of water and 150 kilograms of food. This guy must be a rich man. I recognize this buyer number 9, he is Niu Ziqiang. I'll go, the boss is too scary. Where did he find so many supplies? At the same time, buyer number 9 sent a message in the buyer chat channel, I, Niu Ziqiang, will decide on this gold level drawing. Who dares to compete with me? You bought it today. If I see it in the future, I will tear your house apart and cut you into pieces. Buyer number 5 raised his sign, ignoring Niu Ziqiang's threat, 310 essential supplies for daily life. The auctioneer's mechanical voice sounded, player number 5 raises his sign, 310 essential necessities for daily life. Player number 5 also posted in the auction chat channel, I'm not interested in knowing who Niu Ziqiang is. I, Zhou Shujian, am also very interested in this gold level blueprint. Sorry, I can't part with it. After buyer number 5 revealed his identity, it caused an uproar on public channels. Let me go, it's Mr. Zhou. Young Master Zhou is the most famous kid from a wealthy family in our area. No wonder he can spend more than 300 points on daily necessities. This is so awesome. Master Zhou, I want to be your little brother, as long as I give him a stutter. Fuck you, do you think Mr. Zhou's little brother can do whatever he wants? You don't even know what you are. Mr. Zhou, I am strong, I can help you with your work. Zhou Shujian can naturally see the cheers and admiration on public channels. He also enjoys this kind of admiration and the feeling of being envied by everyone. He was born to deserve the best. No one can stand against him, moreover, he did not believe that anyone could compare with him, especially in terms of financial resources. Niu Ziqiang continued to send messages on the auction chat channel, you are awesome, Zhou Shujian, right? Our relationship is over. Zhou Shujian also responded directly, Mr. Niu insists on taking this out on Zhou, and Zhou cannot defend himself. But Zhou is not a soft persimmon, so just come over. As for the gold level drawings, the one with the highest price will get it. The two people, whose identities were directly exposed, refused to give in to each other in the auction chat channel. Chen Dong glanced at these two familiar names, these are two popular figures who were mentioned in the public chat channel just now, like other buyers. He was too lazy to join in the fun and just watched the daily necessities needed for the gold level blueprints increase step by step, maybe the price was too high, or maybe some people wanted to buy the lowest price at the end. The final price of the barrier wall stagnated at 350 copies of daily necessities. The person holding the sign was none other than Zhou Shujian. It is reasonable, but also surprising, that their group is rich in materials. The virtual auctioneer's prompt began to appear, buyer number 5 bids 350 daily necessities. Are there any other buyers who continue to bid? Niu Ziqiang cursed angrily in the villa, his team can no longer afford more necessary supplies to participate in the auction, if it continues, it may threaten survival. The auctioneer reminded again, since no other buyer has raised the price, then, for the first time, 350 copies. Chapter 14, Continuous Price Increase, Local Tyrant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A contemptuous smile appeared on Zhou Shujian's lips, he is the famous Mr. Zhou. Is there anything he wants that he cannot get? What's awesome about self-improvement, what's rubbish, it's not worth mentioning at all. Zhou Shujian even wanted to laugh out loud, he just likes this feeling of overlooking all living beings, he is the overlord. But, just at this moment, the virtual auctioneer's voice sounded, buyer number 8 bids 400 living supplies. It was Chen Dong who took action at the last moment. What? Zhou Shujian was stunned, he didn't expect that someone was waiting to finally buy the bottom. Moreover, once it is released, it will be 50 living supplies. At this time, almost all survivors cherish the materials in their hands, these are all necessary for them to survive. Not only Zhou Shujian, but also everyone in the public channel was in an uproar. Who is this buyer number 8? He actually sold 400 daily necessities at once. Oh no, this is too rich. 400 daily necessities, this is enough for me to live for a long time. This is an invisible rich man. Who knows who this rich man is? I want to be his woman. Huh, little coquettish hoof, what kind of bullshit are you? Are you as beautiful as me? You are the only one who still wants to be a wealthy woman. It's just a dream. I am the wealthy woman. Buyer number 8, if you can see it, please chat with me privately, I'm very good looking. You above, go away, you have the nerve to say you are beautiful. Look at me, number 8 rich man, I used to be an internet celebrity with 500,000 fans. I can be your lover, and I can do any pose. Have 500,000 zombie fans. Zhou Shujian clenched his fists tightly, stared at the discussions on the screen with wide eyes, and suddenly his face became ferocious. Damn it, who is this person? He actually snatched something that I, Zhou Shujian, like. He must be crazy. Okay, I don't believe it. You really have so much material. I, Zhou Shujian, have never been afraid of anyone even if I have to fight for financial resources. Woolen cloth, Zhou Shujian directly bid, 450 living supplies. He didn't believe that this mysterious buyer number 8 could still afford the price. This time, the entire public channel exploded again. I'm going. Mr. Zhou actually added 50 more supplies. This is so rich. Everyone on this drawing must have gone crazy with joy. Player number 5 holds up a sign, 450 items of daily necessities. Chen Dong looked at the price increase above and didn't care at all. He has nothing else but plenty of mineral water. It hurts him to death when others collected supplies, but he didn't take it to heart at all. Playing with him is like seeing your father-in-law not talking to you. You are blind to the mountains. Increase the price. 500 daily necessities. Player number 8 holds up a sign, 500 supplies of daily necessities. Everyone looked at the numbers on the screen with wide eyes, and their breathing became much heavier involuntarily. Although this is just a simple 3-digit number, the food behind the number is enough to drive people crazy. What, he is still chasing the price? Who is this wealthy person? Why have I never heard of such a famous person here? This is so awesome. Does he own a production factory? He is not the director of a factory, right? This is so awesome. I guess he was in a food factory or drinking water factory when he was teleported here. Impossible. Basically, things in this world cannot be used. You can only open supply boxes to collect supplies. Moreover, the higher the level of the supply boxes, the more zombies there will be. Everyone knows this. The more supplies, the more it means it's harder to get. Zhou Shujian also widened his eyes and looked at the numbers on the screen in disbelief. How is this possible? 500 supplies were taken out so easily. Who is it? Damn it, no matter who you are, you can't steal something from me, Zhou Shujian. This is what I, Zhou Shujian, like, no matter who you are, you can't steal it from me. Zhou Shujian gritted his teeth and shouted, give me a price increase. 550 copies. Upon hearing this, a man in black next to him suddenly panicked. Mr. Zhou, we don't have enough daily necessities. If we continue to increase prices, then our most basic life will be problematic. Yes, Mr. Zhou, we can't go any further. Otherwise, we will have to go out to grab supplies from those terrifying zombies, and we have to go to places where there are so many zombies. The gain outweighs the loss. I don't know how long it takes to get together. Enough materials for the golden blueprint. Young Master Zhou, please think twice. It doesn't matter if we are hungry. You have a rich body, but we must not starve. If we can't find enough supplies, we will all be finished. Zhou Shujian roared angrily, get out of here. I don't believe he still has so many supplies. No one. You can steal things from me, Zhou Shujian. Buyer number 5 holds up a sign with 550 essential supplies. Chen Dong frowned. Zhou Shujian, who has a very rich family, was able to collect so many supplies. It doesn't seem like a good idea, but, that's it. Chen Dong increased the price again without caring. Buyer number 8 holds up a placard with 600 daily necessities. What? 600 daily necessities. This is too. This time, the entire channel was silent. They were all deeply shocked. It's only been a few days, and someone has been able to collect so many supplies. Who is this person? Moreover, the price was increased without any hesitation. Even when Mr. Zhou increased the price, he had to hesitate for a while. On the other hand, buyer number 8 almost followed Mr. Zhou in raising the price. He added as much as Mr. Zhou added, regardless of the minimum bid of 10 supplies. It seems that in his eyes, these supplies are just a sprinkling of water. Zhou Shujian's eyes were about to burst. And his eyes were very unwilling. He didn't want to give up like this. However, when he increased the price again, he was prompted that the supplies were insufficient. Zhou Shujian stared at the screen in front of him. I want to see who you are. This time, Zhou Shujian did not raise a sign with Chen Dong. He didn't have enough daily necessities and was really helpless. The virtual auctioneer began to prompt. Player number 8 bids 600 daily necessities. Do other buyers bid? After a while, the auctioneer spoke again. If no other buyers raise their placards, then please allow me to enter the countdown. 600 daily necessities for the first time. 600 daily necessities for the second time. 600 daily necessities for the third time. Snapped. As the auction hammer falls, the deal is sealed. Chen Dong became the winner of the gold-level blueprint, barrier wall. Chapter 15, The Wall is Built, Practice Shooting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Since there was only one item in this auction, the auction ended when the first item was auctioned, and the buyers began to leave the auction room one after another. This auction ended successfully. Congratulations to player number 10086 for winning the bid and obtaining the gold-level blueprint, barrier wall. The chat channel was silent, and then someone started to speak. Number 132423, by the way, someone just said where did 10086 go if he didn't participate in the auction? I just killed a zombie here, and it's still steaming. If you want to eat it, I'll send you the coordinates. Number 51542, outrageous, I didn't expect 10086 to have so many daily necessities. 600 copies, I can't even take out a fraction of his, it's so scary. Number 456755, who knows where 10,086 lives. I'll go find him even if I risk my life. I ask him to accept me as his little brother. Most of the chat channels are discussing Chen Dong's terrifying strength, being able to take out so many necessities of life to participate in the auction. There must be more in stock. Qian Budwa looked at the huge amount of supplies in his backpack and laughed crazily for a moment. So many supplies are enough for him to live for a long, long time. He wants to find a place to hide and slowly enjoy so many supplies alone. In the end times, human nature is the most terrible. The man is innocent, but he is guilty of holding a treasure. It's not that he hasn't seen people snatching food and water from other survivors, even at the cost of their lives, so, he didn't dare to show off so many supplies in front of everyone. At this time, Chen Dong was opening his mailbox and received the gold-level blueprints of the barrier wall sent by the auction house. He roughly looked at the materials needed. Barrier wall, barrier wall blueprint, 1/1, wood, 20/300, steel, 66/300, cement ash, 3/300. Water, unlimited/300. These materials can be easily bought on the trading platform. Chen Dong immediately bought on the trading platform. Soon, the supplies were gathered, and Chen Dong clicked on the blueprint of the barrier wall. Dear player, do you need to build a barrier wall? Yes/no. Click yes, and the barrier wall blueprint in front of Chen Dong disappeared. Then there was a loud noise, which surprised Xia Anqi on the second floor of the villa. Outside the villa where Chen Dong and his friends were, a wall as high as the second floor of the villa suddenly rose up. Its thickness was so high that even Chen Dong might not be able to touch the edge if he stretched out his arms. Golden props. Barrier wall built. Chen Dong looked at the barrier wall that was built directly and was very satisfied. Xia Anqi walked downstairs with a shocked face and said, "Is this the gold-level blueprint?" As Chen Dong's teammate, Xia Anqi naturally knew Chen Dong's number. Just now, she was also paying attention to the content of the chat channel and knew the strategic significance of this gold-level blueprint. This means that their long-term shelter will become an impregnable fortress in a short period of time. After building the shelter, Chen Dong decided to go to the zombie gathering place outside to search for supplies, and let Xia Anqi stay in the safe villa. The reason for taking such a risk is that he feels great pressure. Everyone's strength is rapidly improving, and more advanced supplies will appear in the future. Only by getting ahead of others as soon as possible can he live longer in this doomsday. Of course, there is another reason. That is, his shooting skills are too poor. He must improve his shooting skills as soon as possible. It just so happens that there is a P92 gun and a silencer now, so there is no need to worry about being surrounded by too many zombies. Leaving Xia Anqi in the villa can ensure her safety. After returning, give her some experience. Although she plays the role of a doctor in the team, her strength cannot be too bad. Chen Dong immediately told Xia Anqi the plan. Xia Anqi nodded obediently. Be careful, come back immediately if something goes wrong. I'll wait for you at home, and I'll practice crossbows. That while the rain was pouring, Chen Dong put on the raincoat he had finally found. After saying goodbye to Xia Anqi, he rushed to the zombie gathering area outside. Before, Chen Dong learned some information while watching the players chatting in the chat channel. The villa area in his direction and the next block have a natural barrier of zombie groups, blocking the traffic in various areas, and it is difficult to break through in a short time. Of course, when the supplies are gradually enriched, the partition between areas will not be a big obstacle. Chen Dong was heading towards the isolation zone. I don't know how long he walked, and when the rain stopped, he saw the block. Chen Dong quietly climbed up the residential building, then used a pistol to deal with two zombies and occupied a residential house. This residential house is not high, and the height of the second floor overlooks the zombies on the street, scattered. The stench of rotten meat downstairs made Chen Dong want to vomit. After taking out the mask and putting it on, he felt more comfortable, but the zombies' screams continued. Chen Dong still picked up his pistol, intending to make a quick decision. The fire below was burning the zombies, and Chen Dong kept firing on the small house. This was a harvest, although his shooting skills were not very good at the beginning. But there were more zombies below. Even if you can't hit the one you're aiming at, you can still hit the other one if you're lucky. It's just right. Take this opportunity to practice your shooting skills. Chen Dong's experience bar is also rising rapidly. Experience 1. Experience 1. Experience 1. Congratulations on the player's upgrade. Please keep up the good work. The flames stopped, and the muzzle was slightly smoking. Chen Dong clicked on his personal information. Level 4, 0/400. Strength 20. Agility 9. Stamina normal. Looking at the chart area under the small house, Chen Dong exhaled a foul breath. Then, he took out the ladder and climbed down the small house, and walked towards the next zombie group. Chen Dong has already discovered that the abandoned supermarket and villa area are relatively safe areas. The fewer supplies there are, the fewer zombies there are. However, after a block, there should be a gathering point for the zombie group. Moving along the opposite hill from the villa area, Chen Dong killed many lone and small group zombies. During this time, he also found several supply boxes. However, they were all bronze level. At this time, his experience bar was already halfway through. After finding a safe bungalow, Chen Dong climbed onto the roof, took out his lunch, and started to replenish his supplies. After lunch, he continued to move towards the top of the mountain. Chen Dong did not return to the villa area until sunset. After upgrading twice in a row, he found that his physical endurance was completely different from before. He kept running at a constant speed all the way, and he saw the edge of the villa area, without feeling tired or out of breath. When he ran to the gate of the villa area, zombies in groups of 3 or 2 noticed him and ran towards him again. Chen Dong shook his legs and smiled. It's just right to run back to warm up, so I'll use you to verify how much my physical fitness has improved. After that, Chen Dong rushed straight towards the zombies. To be on the safe side, he still chose to defeat them one by one, and directly rushed into the zombie group. Even though he had already upgraded to level 4, he still hoped to be steady. Chapter 16. The cooked duck flew away. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Powerful Vitra legs. Chen Dong shouted a classic move from the movie and launched a flying kick towards the zombie that bore the brunt. I saw the zombie that was kicked hard and flew out directly, rolling several times without stopping. Chen Dong was also surprised by his explosive power. He didn't expect that his strength would reach this level. You know, the physical fitness of zombies is much stronger than that of humans. This kick can keep a zombie on the ground for a long time before it gets up. If it kicks a person, Chen Dong has already thought of that scene. Zombies are not like humans. They are still scared when they see their companions being kicked away. They will only continue to roar and attack Chen Dong. Well done. Chen Dong took out a silver-level tang knife that he had collected before. Without any skills, he relied on his brute force to chop down all the zombies like melons and vegetables. For a time, no more zombies arrived. Chen Dong shook off the zombie blood stained on Tang Dao and thought, it seems that the team that entered the villa area with us before really killed the zombies. After a while, if there are other players who have heard about it, they will definitely move into the villa area one after another. It's interesting. However, Chen Dong is not too worried about whether new players will come to the villa area in the future. After all, he already owns the barrier and wall, and when other new players arrive, he should be almost ready. The most worrying thing right now is the group of people living next door. After all, they are still a group, and Chen Dong doesn't know if the barriers and walls can stop the other party. What if they climbed over the ladder and the barrier wouldn't stop them? Chen Dong couldn't guarantee it. He thought that he had to deal with the nearest threat around him. As long as the nearby threats are resolved, Chen Dong is confident that when new players come to this villa area, his villa will become an indestructible and absolute domain. You have to find a chance. Chen Dong returned to his villa and passed the face authentication on the barrier wall. I took a look at the villa before walking in, silently thinking to myself. Upon entering the house, Xia Anqi was already waiting by the door, checking around Chen Dong. Chen Dong, you are back, are you not injured? Chen Dong grabbed Xia Anqi and said with a smile, how can he be so easily injured? I have my own destiny, and I can pick up artifacts when I go out. Next, Chen Dong donated some experience, and Xia Anqi was directly promoted to level 3, number 9527, level 3, 2/300, strength, 7. Agility, 13. Physical strength, plenty. Well, it's been upgraded to level 3, not bad. Chen Dong nodded with satisfaction. However, the most important thing now is to ensure her own development. In a short time, she may be one level behind her. Perhaps when the demand for experience is great in the later period, the two will have a chance to be on par. Moreover, Xia Anqi's body statistics seem to be not as outstanding as Chen Dong's. I don't know if it's because of the difference in physical fitness between men and women, or other reasons. Xia Anqi let Chen Dong check his information panel and complained, you don't know how worried I am about you at home. Watching the experience bar keep rising, my heart is in my throat. Chen Dong rubbed Xia Anqi's hair and laughed. There are indeed some twists and turns, but there are no dangers. This wave of experience points has directly made a qualitative leap in our physical fitness. Especially you can be regarded as having a little bit of self-confidence. Guaranteed ability. Xia Anqi finally discovered that Chen Dong especially liked to rub her hair. But she wasn't disgusted either, just curious. Chen Dong, why do you like rubbing my head so much? Xia Anqi curled her hair, feeling a little embarrassed. When Chen Dong heard this question, he realized that he really seemed to like rubbing Xia Anqi's hair. I can't help myself, I feel like I'm petting a cat, I'm a little bit over the top. Chen Dong's hand that he originally put down continued to cover Xia Anqi's head, rubbed it and said, what? If I don't rub your hair, do you want me to rub your big conscience? Xia Anqi's face turned slightly red after hearing this. I gave you a chance before, but you didn't use it. Chen Dong was a little moved after hearing this. In front of her, Xia Anqi's well-fitting clothes outlined the curves that make men's hormones burst out, the seductive expression of wanting to welcome but not resisting, and the constant small movements of the hands due to nervousness. Beauty is indeed the biggest stumbling block for men. Chen Dong's Adam's apple slid. But, I want to challenge my weakness. Chen Dong hugged Xia Anqi, their lips met, and the suppressed hormones exploded at this moment. "Enqi, do you want to take a bath?" Xia Enqi put her hands around Chen Dong's neck and said softly, "I washed my hair and wiped my body." At this time, inappropriate system sounds popped up. "Dear players, there are several unidentified players approaching outside the fortress wall you built." Chen Dong was stunned, as if a bucket of cold water had been poured on him, and he suddenly woke up. Xia Enqi noticed Chen Dong's mood swings, loosened his legs from around Chen Dong's waist, stood on the ground, and asked with concern, "What's wrong?" If it hadn't been for an emergency, Chen Dong would never have made such a sudden change. Chen Dong exhaled a breath of foul air and said with a serious expression, "There are unidentified survivors approaching outside the wall. We have to go and check." Xia Enqi sorted out her clothes. "I'll go out with you to take a look." Chen Dong took out his pistol and checked the bullets inside. He shook his head and said, "Don't go out. Go to the second floor and get the crossbow. If the situation is not right, give me support." Xia Enqi also entered the combat state. She took out the crossbow, nodded to Chen Dong, and ran straight to the second-floor balcony and found a suitable place to ambush. Chen Dong reloaded the magazine of the pistol and muttered viciously while opening the door. "It's all because of you damned people. The cooked duck flew away. If you don't open your eyes, don't blame me for making you a live target." Across the barrier wall, Chen Dong shouted, "People outside, stop. No matter what your purpose is, if you get close to my shelter again, don't blame me for being rude." Chapter 17, First Contact, Recruitment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There was a woman outside, and she said in a pretentious voice, "Good brother, open the door. I am Xiao Qian from the team next door. I was sent by the captain to negotiate with you." Chen Dong frowned, unexpectedly. Before he could take action, the team next door came to the door. "If it's a team, I'm not interested, please come back." Chen Dong did not open the wall gate, but refused. For others, it is easier to collect supplies and deal with zombies in a group, making it easier to survive, but to him, others are the biggest threat. "Good brother, don't refuse in a hurry. Let others come in first. Look at me, my backpack is empty, there is nothing." Xiao Qian took the initiative to open her backpack. It can be seen that, as Xiao Qian said, there is no material that can threaten Chen Dong's safety, which can indeed reflect the sincerity of the other party. Chen Dong thought for a while, opened a crack in the door, and was ready to shoot at any time, then, cautiously let Xiao Qian walk in sideways. This is a woman with a hot body but an ordinary appearance. The clothes she wore were in tatters and her body was looming, and she didn't know whether it was because her condition was too poor or because she was deliberately seducing. Chen Dong smiled secretly in his heart. In the past, he might have taken a second look at something like this, but after spending so many days with Xia Enqi, his eyesight rose sharply in just a few days. "Wow, little brother, is this a gold-level blueprint? It seems that you are 10,086. Xiao Qian said with admiration. Chen Dong's face was expressionless. This is what worries him the most. After the fortress wall was built, Jiang Kai's team knew his identity immediately. Although Chen Dong doesn't expect his identity to be hidden forever, that's not the case now. If Jiang Kai and the others posted their identities in the chat channel, Chen Dong would be very passive now that he was still a fledgling. After all, everyone knows that he has a lot of supplies, so there is no guarantee that no one will have any evil intentions. Chen Dong narrowed his eyes slightly and said with a smile, "Why, is your team only interested in my identity?" Xiao Qian covered her mouth and smiled sweetly. "Brother, as you said, you are so out of touch. Maybe we will have a chance to become teammates. Don't you want to invite me into the room to sit for a while?" Chen Dong looked at Xiao Qian with squinted eyes, unsure of what she wanted to do, but he still smiled and said, "You are a guest. Since your team has shown sincerity, I will not be stingy. Come on, please come in." In another villa, Jiang Kai and others received the team channel message from Xiao Qian. "We have successfully entered the shelter of 10,086 and started investigating the situation." Xiao Qian successfully entered Chen Dong's villa. Just as Xiao Qian reported, she came with a mission this time, that is to spy on Chen Dong's truth. it is impossible for them not to know that 10,086 spent 600 necessities of life to purchase gold-level blueprints. They also thought about barriers and walls. However, the strength is insufficient. When they saw Chen Dong building the barrier wall, they already knew Chen Dong's identity. He is the player number 10086 whose dragon has never seen its end. Jiang Kai's men once persuaded him to use Chen Dong's information as intelligence and sell it to those forces or players who had ideas about Chen Dong and the gold-level blueprints, but this idea was directly rejected by him. Even, scold this idiot. Then, he revealed his plan. Jiang Kai planned to send someone to spy on Chen Dong's true identity. Then, he ate Chen Dong, the big fat sheep. He clearly saw Chen Dong and Xia Anqi running into the villa. This shows that there are only two of them. Chen Dong. On his side, there are still 8 people. Although Chen Dong is rich in supplies, it is difficult for him to defeat 4 hands with 2 fists. As long as they figure out the layout of Chen Dong's villa, wait until the opportunity is ripe and quietly climb over the barrier wall, they can capture the 2 of them effortlessly. By that time, they no longer have to worry about supplies. This layout is simply perfect. So, the night before, Jiang Kai called Xiaoqian. First, he vented his anger on Xiaoqian, and then, "Xiaoqian, how does brother Jiang treat you?" Xiaoqian snuggled close to Jiang Kai, stretched out her hand to draw circles on Jiang Kai's chest, and said charmingly, "Brother Jiang is the best to me. It was brother Jiang who rescued me from the zombies, and it was brother Jiang who gave me food and drink. Yes, Xiaoqian has been with brother Dingjiang for the rest of her life." Brother Jiang laughed loudly and kneaded it hard until Xiaoqian felt a slight pain before letting go with satisfaction. He said slowly, "Xiaoqian, tomorrow, go find out the details of 10,086. Don't bring any weapons. After entering, you must gain the other party's trust. If necessary, you can meet all his requirements." Xiaoqian looked at Jiang Kai with shock on her face. She naturally understood what Jiang Kai meant, and her expression was a little hesitant for a moment. "Brother Jiang." Brother Jiang interrupted directly and said coldly, "Why, do you want me to say it a second time?" Xiaoqian had no choice but to nod bitterly. "Yes, brother Jiang." Jiang Kai then turned his anger into happiness, kissed Xiaoqian on the cheek, and said with a smile, "This is my good sister, let my brother continue to love you." As a result, there was a scene where Xiaoqian took the initiative to come to the door after Chen Dong came back the next day. After Chen Dong led Xiaoqian in, he first ordered Xia Anqi to stand still on the balcony on the 2nd floor, occupy the commanding heights, and observe whether Xiaoqian's teammates made any changes. Then, let Xiaoqian sit down in the living room. "Xiaoqian, let's sit and talk. I haven't eaten yet, would you like some fried rice and orange juice?" "Okay, since little brother invites me to dinner, of course I can't refuse." Chen Dong nodded, took out the things from his backpack and put them on the dining table. Smelling the aroma of fried rice, Xiaoqian couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. After coming to this apocalyptic world, it was difficult for her to fill her stomach. Fried rice, oranges, etc., just like a dream. It was as if the experiences of the past few days were all hallucinations, and she was still the goddess being held in the palm of a licking dog. After eating a few mouthfuls of rice and drinking a glass of orange juice to moisten his throat, Chen Dong got back to business. "Xiaoqian, you said before that you wanted me to join the team. I'm curious. Now that you know my identity, what confidence do you have to ask me to join you?" Xiaoqian wiped her mouth and said with a smile, "Brother, we have a big team of 8 people. You must have seen us destroying the zombies in the villa area before. This is not something that just a team can do." "Arrived." Chen Dong nodded. "I admit this. I can see your strength. It is indeed very strong." If it were before, he would not have a deep understanding of the strength of Brother Jiang's team. It wasn't until he went out to hunt zombies alone that he realized that Brother Jiang's team was very strong. Seeing this, Xiaoqian continued to add, "Although we killed almost half of the zombies in the villa area before, we will continue to develop and come back. Given time, we can definitely become a big group that dominates. At that time, everyone in the team will be able to enjoy huge benefits." Chapter 18, Strike First and Set a Trap. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After listening to Xiao Qian's words, Chen Dong raised his eyebrows. Are you done? Xiao Qian was stunned and couldn't understand his expression. That's it. Chen Dong smiled toothily at this time. If this is your confidence and you want to recruit me, then forget it. You should know that since I alone can spend thousands of daily necessities to buy barriers and walls, and even provide precious food and drinks to entertain you, do you think I need to join your team? Xiao Qian was speechless. So, don't waste your time on me. We are neighbors for now, so please accept this small gift. If nothing happens, please return it. Chen Dong took out 20 essential supplies from his backpack and gave them to the other party. Xiao Qian looked at the 20 extra supplies in her backpack and was stunned. Unexpectedly, Chen Dong was so generous. 100 daily necessities were given to a stranger whom he had just met. Xiao Qian rolled her eyes and sat down next to Chen Dong. She squeezed and rubbed Chen Dong's arm intentionally or unintentionally, showing an embarrassed expression. I'm so embarrassed that my little brother is so generous. Otherwise, let Xiao Qian come and accompany you. Xiao Qian stretched out her hand, kept testing, and slowly moved downwards. However, Chen Dong grabbed her hand and said with a smile, to be honest, I'm not very interested in you. Don't force me to fall out, okay? Xiao Qian looked at the smiling Chen Dong and could not feel any murderous intent, but she had a strong feeling, if you continue to provoke, you may really lose your life. Xiao Qian retracted her hand and sat up straight. Brother, don't be angry. I was just joking with you. Chen Dong moved her hand away and said with a smile, nothing happens, please go back. I hope we can be harmonious and be good neighbors. After sending Xiao Qian out of the fence, Chen Dong called Xia Anqi downstairs. Xia Anqi's eyes were full of puzzlement and confusion, and she said, Chen Dong, why do you still give supplies to them? Even if we have a lot of supplies, we can't waste it like this. Chen Dong chuckled lightly and said, you don't understand this. Believe it or not, tomorrow at the latest, or even tonight, their team will definitely not be able to hold back and attack us. Xia Anqi groaned, and then muttered, then if you return the supplies to them, won't this expose our supply reserves even more and make them want to plunder even more? Or do you want them to come back and fight us when they are full? I just want to give him supplies. Chen Dong guessed that Xia Anqi would have such doubts, and patiently explained, before, when they saw that we were just 2 people and won the gold level drawings, they would have had some evil intentions, but they were not sure about our specific situation, so they did not dare to act rashly. I sent this woman here today. The recruitment is fake, but the spying on us is real. Seeing Xia Anqi lost in thought, Chen Dong continued, I gave them the supplies to let them know that we have a lot of supplies and they can't help it. We will use our tactics and just wait and see. Furthermore, I can be sure that the other party has never exposed my information. They regard us as their own and will not let anyone else get their hands on it. Xia Anqi understood everything and asked, then what are you going to do? Chen Dong took out combat supplies from his backpack, Molotov cocktails, iron bear traps, a large number of crossbows, daggers, P92 pistols. After Chen Dong sorted it out, he said, I plan to make various traps inside the wall. When they come, they will be unable to fly. You dare to miss us, you are so tired of living. Xia Anqi looked at Chen Dong who had everything under control and couldn't help but smile. So, is there anything you need my help with? Chen Dong handed over a few animal traps and said, since Dr. Xia has volunteered, take these animal traps and put them in the corner and cover them with something. This is an appetizer for them. Xia Anqi took it and said obediently, okay, then I will arrange it now. After saying that, he walked to the villa yard and carefully arranged it in the corner. The other side, Xiao Qian has returned to her shelter, handed over the supplies, and informed Jiang Kai of the spying situation. Jiang Kai sat on the sofa in the middle of the living room of the villa, holding his chin in his hand, with a fiery light shining in his eyes. Unexpectedly, this 10,086 actually has so many supplies, it seems that he still has a very solid foundation, and after participating in the auction, he has no living problems. Jiang Kai could no longer restrain his restless heart and wanted to raid tonight to take possession of all Chen Dong's supplies, including the gold-level barrier wall. As if he had a tacit understanding, a hoarse boy next to him said, "Brother, there is no need to hesitate. You also heard the information Xiao Qian just said. This 10,086 supplies are definitely enough for our team to eat for a long time. And if we wait for a few more days, we don't know when other groups will come to our villa area." Other teammates also followed suit. "Yes, brother. This 10086 just donated 20 supplies to us, and he has at least hundreds of supplies with him." Xiao Qian was also blowing the pillow wind and said, "Brother Jiang, without further ado, let's take action tonight while the night is dark and the wind is high. While 10086 has also lowered its guard against us, let's take it by surprise." Jiang Kai took out a crossbow and slapped it on the table, saying viciously, "Let's do it. Tonight, we will directly destroy the nest of 10,086. Everyone began to cheer. "Boss is mighty." Jiang Kai also began to imagine the fruits of victory tonight and laughed wantonly. Chen Dong touched the sweat on his head, looked at the trap set up inside and outside the villa yard, put his hands on his waist and sneered, "This time, let's be farmers waiting for rabbits." In the end times, human nature is the most terrible. It's not that Chen Dong is cruel, it's really that in this end times, there is such a big threat around him, and he can't sleep well. In some critical moments, that group of people may become a sharp blade stabbing at himself. So, when Chen Dong saw that they were plotting something wrong, he had to take the initiative and completely eradicate them. Chapter 19, Climb over the wall and wait for the rabbit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The night of the doomsday world seems to come much faster than the real world. The survivors lamented that they survived for one more day. At night, what scares survivors most is not zombie attacks, but the survivors around them. No one can guarantee that apart from the teammates in their own team, there will be other survivors secretly watching. It is not uncommon for survivors of the same team to abandon them without hesitation when their lives are in danger. The shelter in the villa area where Chen Dong lives is quiet, as if everything is sleeping. Only the subtle breathing of Chen Dong and Xia Anqi can be heard in the room. Inside the fortress walls, there were no candles or firewood for lighting. The two of them were quietly lurking in the living room on the first floor, waiting to see if any uninvited guests would arrive tonight. In the dark night, relying on the moonlight, Xia Anqi quietly pulled Chen Dong beside her and asked in a low voice, "Chen Dong, are they really going to attack us tonight? It's been so long." Chen Dong touched his ears that were itchy due to the hot breath exhaled by Xia Anqi, and also lowered his voice and said, "Wait, we must be very alert in the past 2 days. They will come sooner or later. However, I am also betting to see if they will be so anxious that they can't help themselves tonight and throw themselves into a trap." Jiang Kai's team, just as Chen Dong expected, was already preparing to fight. Jiang Kai loaded the crossbow and distributed other cold weapons. "You all sort out your equipment, grab your own weapons, and take down the opponent in one fell swoop tonight." The other team members were smiling playfully, as if they were sure to win the upcoming battle and were full of confidence. "Brother, there are so many of us. We will rush into the house of 10,086 at once. They must be resting in the middle of the night. We will catch them off guard." The others nodded in agreement as they polished their weapons. Yes, this time, 10086 has fallen into our hands. We can't blame us for being so arrogant. Jiang Kai waved his hand, signaling to his teammates not to discuss this anymore. Then, he licked his lips. "It's not too late to talk about these words after we finish the work. Now, let's set off. You all should be quiet and don't make any mistakes." Everyone nodded and whispered, "Yes, brother, we will definitely not let the chain slip." Jiang Kai nodded with satisfaction. "This is best, let's go." Then, taking advantage of the darkness, Jiang Kai led a few people to Chen Dong's villa quietly, prepared to climb over the fortress wall and attack Chen Dong. Chen Dong in the villa received a system reminder and whispered, "Say Chow Chow, Chow Chow will be here." They have already reached the edge of the fortress wall. Since they knew very little about the fortress wall, Jiang Kai and others did not know that after building the fortress wall, if strange survivors approached, although the system had no way to stop them, it could send a prompt to the owner of the fortress wall. Therefore, in the first moment, Chen Dong had received the information and learned about the other party's actions. Jiang Kai and others were still kept in the dark. Thinking that everything was perfect, at this time, they were leaning against the corner of the wall, taking out the extended ladder and rope they had prepared before. This was a prop they had specially prepared for this operation, and they were exchanged for the few necessities of daily life. At that time, Jiang Kai was in great pain, but thinking that I couldn't let go of my child and trap the wolf, I decided to buy it, taking out 3 extended ladders and setting them up on the fortress wall. Jiang Kai signaled his 3 men to climb up first and climb over to the other side to see the situation. The 3 of them climbed the stairs quickly, moving lightly to avoid making any noise. Climb to the top of the rampart wall and look around the villa. Because of the height of the fence, the villa was completely covered in darkness, but there seems to be no protection. The 3 of them made an okay gesture to the others outside the wall. Jiang Kai and others nodded below. Then the 3 of them dropped the rope, lightly kicked on the wall, and slid all the way to the villa yard. As they expected, the villa was quiet, and 10,086 also neglected to take precautions. Without any protective measures, he probably thinks that with barriers and walls, everything will be fine. There were 8 people in Jiang Kai's team. Except for the 3 people who made inquiries first, the remaining 5 people all climbed up to the top of the fortress wall and took back the ladder. Then, it was transferred to the backpacks of 3 teammates in the yard through the system. After throwing it over, Brother Jiang and others gently caught it from above without making any sound. Soon, all 8 people came to Chen Dong's villa yard. Brother Jiang couldn't help but chuckle to himself. Chen Dong's vigilance was so low. Barrier walls are okay to block zombies, but for survivors, being able to use material props is simply useless. If we don't set up traps in the yard, how can we stop them? Ridiculously funny. Jiang Kai waved his right hand and made a forward gesture. Everyone walked cautiously to the villa. That at this moment, a scream suddenly came from behind. Jiang Kai subconsciously wanted to cover the man's mouth, but turned around and found that the other person was covering his right leg. The right leg was bleeding profusely, and an iron animal trap with a cold light was clamped tightly on the leg. At the same time, another subordinate exclaimed, "Brother Jiang, look! It's 10,086. Jiang Kai looked where his teammates were pointing. On the balcony on the second floor of the villa, Chen Dong stood. Through the moonlight, Chen Dong's expression can be vaguely seen. That calm and contented look made Jiang Kai feel alarm bells ringing in his heart. No! Escape quickly! Brother Jiang was trembling with fear. He originally thought that Chen Dong had neglected to take precautions and could let himself take control, but I didn't expect that people are catching turtles in a jar and have been waiting for a long time. Just as he finished speaking, a strong smell of gasoline suddenly emitted from the surroundings. Then came the crashing explosion. The Molotov cocktail exploded, surrounding them into a square in the center of the courtyard. The intense fire made it impossible for them to stand, so they could only huddle together. As the flames rose, Jiang Kai and others in the yard saw Chen Dong's face clearly. Chen Dong stood on the balcony on the second floor of the villa, acting like a master, and said with a smile, "Everyone, you are here, don't leave in a hurry." Jiang Kai's eyes were about to burst, so he took a preemptive strike, picked up his crossbow and started shooting. Chen Dong exited the balcony, no longer giving him a chance to aim. Several teammates in Jiang Kai's team with long-range combat capabilities were keeping an eye on the situation outside, looking for opportunities to counterattack. However, the next scene instantly broke their psychological defenses. Through the flames, a teammate suddenly screamed and fell to the ground. The people around him quickly stepped forward to help him up, only to find a bullet-sized hole in his head. Chen Dong has a gun in his hand. Chapter 20, Red wine and chicken feet are still a little off. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang! Another shot, and one of his men fell to the ground again. The others looked at Jiang Kai in fear and asked anxiously, "Brother, what should we do?" "Brother, say something." However, Chen Dong did not give them too much time. One teammate after another fell to the ground, and finally only Jiang Kai was left. Jiang Kai was a little desperate, holding the crossbow, and shouted a little crazy, 10086, if you are a man, come out, what's the point of hiding? In response to him, he was shot in the leg, the severe pain made him almost unable to hold the crossbow. Perhaps Chen Dong was considerate of the other party, and then he smashed the crossbow in his hand very considerately. Then, he slowly walked out of the yard. Chen Dong looked at Jiang Kai, as if when he lived in a rental house, he looked at the mouse caught in a mousetrap and let him do whatever he wanted. Bang! Chen Dong fired another shot, hitting Jiang Kai's hand, who wanted to quietly pick up another crossbow of his teammate. Then, he quietly watched the other party screaming in pain, without any ripples in his heart. Jiang Kai was tough, perhaps because he knew that he had no chance of survival, so he said harshly, "Ganny, if you want to kill me, just kill me, why are you dithering?" Chen Dong laughed. He did not continue to shoot, but said, "You are good at using the trick of the villain to complain first. It is obvious that you have bad intentions towards me, and I am just fighting back." Jiang Kai snorted, spit out a mouthful of blood, and said fiercely, "I misjudged you, and I fell on your head, give me a quick death." Chen Dong raised his eyebrows and said, "Why, you don't plan to try to convince me, what if I let you go?" Jiang Ge laughed. 10086, even if I beg for mercy, will you let me go? Chen Dong also laughed, showing his white teeth that were still washed on time. "That's true. If you don't cut the grass at the root, it will grow again in the spring breeze, letting the tiger go back to the mountain. Isn't that stupid?" Chen Dong raised the P92 and aimed at Jiang Kai. Jiang Kai closed his eyes, his lips trembling slightly. He knew that he had no chance of survival, but he was still afraid when facing death. Bang! After the gunshot, Jiang Kai did not die. He opened his eyes in surprise and looked at Chen Dong in confusion. At the same time, an excited thought emerged in his heart uncontrollably. Could it be that he was going to let him go? At this moment, Chen Dong smiled shyly and fired another shot. This time, it hit his forehead. "Sorry, I missed it just now." "Fuck!" Jiang Kai widened his eyes and slowly fell to the ground, dying with his eyes wide open. If they were more cautious at ordinary times, they would not end up like this, but the strong greed made them lose their minds. But they jumped into the trap that Chen Dong did not even prepare carefully. In the end, they lost their lives. Chen Dong looted the few remaining supplies of this group of people and threw the bodies out of the wall of the barrier. Tomorrow morning, the enthusiastic zombie cleaners will be responsible for cleaning up. Having solved the imminent worry, Chen Dong breathed a sigh of relief, returned to his room, and casually fell on the soft big bed. "Finally, I pulled out this thorn in my heart." Chen Dong closed his eyes and fell asleep peacefully after a long time. Sleep until you wake up naturally. Chen Dong did not plan to go out to look for supplies today. The surrounding supplies in the villa area are not enough for their use. If you need to find more advanced supplies, you need to go to the area where the zombies are more dense. As the saying goes, wealth and honor are sought in danger. This time, waiting for the rabbit to come out really reduced Chen Dong's combat supplies a lot. Although he has unlimited water to exchange for food and combat supplies, the key problem is that the number of trading platforms cannot keep up with his consumption. Chen Dong basically buys goods on the trading platform whenever he has free time, and even gives some supplies to Xia Anqi, who stays at home to buy goods, but the result still did not achieve the expected effect. Because of the shortage of combat supplies, Chen Dong had to stop his plan to go out to search for supplies again. After all, the P92 does not have a strong sustained combat capability. After a magazine of 15 bullets is used up, it has to be reloaded. Facing a large number of zombies, it will be very passive. Once bitten, it will be dead. Thinking of this, Chen Dong couldn't help but have some yearning. If one day, the system sends him unlimited AK-47s, or unlimited Molotov cocktails, then he will take off directly. Thinking of unlimited supplies, Chen Dong suddenly remembered that he could receive them again today. He quickly opened the email and received the unlimited supplies sent by the system on time. Red wine. Chen Dong took out the red wine and looked at the foreign words on the bottle, speechless for a while. You know, he is a poor English idiot and can't recognize a few words. I don't know how this wine is. Chen Dong took out an ordinary glass from his backpack and broke the bottle with his bare hands. The speed was so fast that the cracks of the bottle were neat as if cut by a knife. Picking up the red wine, Chen Dong put it to the tip of his nose and smelled it. Even if the wine has not fully evaporated with the air and sobered up, the mellow aroma of this glass of red wine can still be felt. Drinking always feels like something is missing. Chen Dong held the handle of the glass, gently shook the red wine, and muttered. Then, Chen Dong suddenly realized. He took out a few braised chicken feet from his backpack. Right, how can we miss some snacks to go with the wine? It's a pity that there are no peanuts for drunkards, otherwise it would be comfortable. Chen Dong posted a photo of red wine and chicken feet on the coffee table to the chat channel. Number 1008 is still a little bit off. It would be nice if there was beer. Oh, and there are also peanuts for drunkards. Brothers, if you have collected relevant materials, please put them on the trading platform. Attached pictures. As soon as this paragraph was posted, the chat channel exploded. Now even ordinary daily necessities, many people eat one meal and go hungry, not to mention luxury snacks such as beer and peanuts for drunkards. Even if there are, they have already eaten them as normal supplies. After all, saving lives is important. Chen Dong posted this photo at this time, which is obviously a provocation and a show-off of his luxurious life, just like the last time he covered himself with a quilt. And bought gold drawings. It directly ignited the anger of many people. Number 10,10086, you are too much. Everyone hasn't filled their stomachs yet, and you posted these pictures to show off. What's your intention? Number 10010, that's right. Not only do you eat it yourself, but you also send it out, which is disturbing the morale of the army. Number 12306, that's right. I'm almost starving to death. 10086, why don't you be kind and give me some supplies? I will say hello to you. Number 193844, yes. What's the point of being able to eat enough? If you have the guts, send us supplies. Let us eat enough too. We will definitely remember your kindness. Chen Dong looked at many people denouncing him, and even some of them were morally kidnapped, and couldn't help laughing. Number 10086, okay, if you call me Dad, I will give you some supplies, otherwise don't compare. I will send it if I want to, and if you don't like me, don't look at it, or you can also collect daily necessities and send it out. Hee, snickering expression. If you don't work hard, who can you blame? Chen Dong naturally won't pay attention to those who want to try to morally kidnap him. Now, he has already changed his mind. Moral kidnapping? Sorry, as long as I stand on the moral high ground, you can't kidnap me.